player who is being criminally underrated, who I feel is so criminally underrated, is Andriy Shevchenko. A lot of people don't talk about this guy. To be honest, I barely see people talk about Andriy Shevy. Even some people have Thierry Henry over Andriy Shevchenko in their best striker order. Some people have Thierry Henry over Andriy Shevchenko, and I'm like, I sat down to think, and I'm like, why are people rating Thierry Henry over Shevchenko? Like, do they not know who Shevchenko? Well, I can understand if maybe you are just a new football fan. Yeah, maybe you did not really watch Shevchenko in his early stage in his career. Maybe you watched him when he left to Chelsea, because when he went to Chelsea, people were saying, oh, it is going to be a battle between Thierry Henry and Shevchenko. Now we are going to know who is better. But Shevchenko did not do well in Chelsea. But we can also say the same for Thierry Henry too, because Thierry Henry did not really do that well when he was in Serie A too. And as at that time, Serie A was the pinnacle of football. At least, even if una no know anything, una go know this one. As at the early 90s, 2000s, all those early times in football, those especially the 90s and the 2000s, Serie A was the pinnacle of football. Everybody wants to play in the Serie A. Shevchenko is one of the greatest striker of our time. He is one of the greatest striker in the history of football. Yes. This guy won the Ballon d'Or in 2004. He started from Dynamo Kiev. At Dynamo Kiev, Shevchenko, as a teenager, is the first ever teenager in 1977-1998 Champions League. He's the first teenager ever to score an away Champions League hat-trick against Barcelona. Go and check. He is the first person to do that, away Champions League hat-trick at Camp Nou against Barcelona. The other person to do that was Kylian Mbappe in 2021. It was Kylian Mbappe. In that season, he scored 19 goals in 23 league match. In that 1977-1998, he scored 19 goals in 23 matches and then 6 goals in 10 Champions League match. Make you know, say, he don't take away this one, I don't dey ball. No be today. He don't take away, he don't dey ball. 19 goals in 23 matches in 1977-1998, and that same season again, he scored an hat-trick against Madrid over two legs in Dynamo Kiev. He is not in AC Milan yet. This thing I'm telling you is at 1977-1998. They won Barcelona 4-0. He scored an hat-trick. It was in the group stage. He's the first ever player to do that as a teenager. The second player to do that is Kylian Mbappe in 2021. Andriy Shevchenko, the following season, he scored 33 goals in all competition for Dynamo Kiev. And during his 5 years in Dynamo Kiev, in the senior team, he won the domestic cup the domestic league title in each of his 5 years. He won the domestic league title. Are you aware that even internationally, he did well? It's not as if maybe it's just his pro career. Internationally, he did well. In Ukraine's first ever World Cup, he was at the center of it. He was the pinnacle. And he took them to their first ever World Cup. And he didn't just stop there. He took them all the way to the quarterfinals. A small country like Ukraine. Like, people don't talk about this man. And this man was a menace to face in his time. He was so good. In his time. He took Ukraine, a nothing country, to the World Cup, and he dragged them all the way to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. In 1999, in his debut season in AC Milan, he scored 24 goals in 32 matches. 24 goals in 32 matches. As a foreigner, he won the best goal scorer in Serie A that season. In his debut season, he won the best goal scorer award in his debut season in Serie A. The following season again, he scored 24 goals in 34 matches. 24 goals in 34 matches. That is 2001, 2002 season. He scored 24 goals in 34 matches. Then 2002, 2003, when they won the Champions League, he scored 5 goals. It was mainly, due to injuries. He battled with a lot of injuries that season, but still, he still rose up to the occasion when AC Milan needed him. He scored the crucial away goal against Inter Milan. He was the one that scored the crucial away goal against Inter Milan and then scored the winning penalty against Juventus in the final in 2003 and still scored the winning goal against Porto again in the UEFA Super Cup. In the following season in 2004, where he won the Ballon d'Or, he scored 24 goals again. For the second time, he won the Serie A top scorer award again for the second time in his career. 24 goals in 34 matches again. 24 goals in 34 matches again. In that same 2004, he was named in the FIFA World Exile. That same 2004, he was named number 125, greatest footballer of all time. In that same 2004, where he won the Ballon d'Or. This man is so good, and there's a lot of conversation that they don't put him in, which he is supposed to be in, and I don't like it. You will see people rating hype Thierry, and I know I understand why you hype Thierry. Thierry was this is not to say Thierry was not good. Thierry was so good, fantastic baller. He was, in fact, I don't know what to describe Thierry. Thierry was so good. He was a horse. You know if you catch him, you go run tire. But Andriy Shevchenko, he needs to be in those conversations too. He needs to be in those conversations too. Because in his time, in his era, he was a force to reckon with. On his day, you could not clamp him. On his day, you could not. He's still the leading goal scorer in the Milan derby. 17 goals, maybe 14 goals in Milan derby. He's the highest leading goal scorer in Milan derby. Second highest goal scorer in the history of AC Milan, 175 goals. The second most prolific goal scorer in the history of AC Milan. So this man, no be say, record dey, but he is so criminally underrated. A lot of people don't talk about him, and he needs to be talked about. Andriy Shevchenko. People used to use that Chelsea stint to judge his career, which is not supposed to be, because if we go by that, a lot of these footballers that we rate on AI, there were some part of a time in their career, where they did not really do well. Messi did not do well at PSG. CR7 did not do well at Manchester United. You could as well use it to judge their careers. But no, it's not so. You don't cherry pick careers. You don't cherry pick. You could as well say, oh, when he was at Juventus, when Thierry was at Juventus, he didn't do well. He mainly made his name when he was at Arsenal. That was where he made his name. That was where they gave him that name, Igwe, in Nigeria. That was where we gave him that name, Igwe, when he was at Arsenal. So Shevchenko deserves to be appreciated. I don't like the way he's so underappreciated. He deserves to be appreciated more. He deserves to be appreciated more. That is just my own, though. That is just my own. Let me know your thoughts, guys. And I'll be under the comment section, guys. Drop your thoughts. Thank you very much.